Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Recap, a guy's review. That's right. We've got fantasy suites to talk about. Last night was the fantasy suites. I take notes, read them back to you. No edits, no jump cuts, just me and you. Let's jump right into it. Overnight week, and we open in Krabi, Thailand. No crab jokes from me, folks. I don't want to pinch that topic. Gabby in Krabi says this week is the perfect week to tell Zach she is falling in love. And of course, everything's about to be a complete mess, and we are here for it. Jesse tells Zach, let's talk about the fantasy suites. I love the intensity. He's got that whisper. He's like, tell me about the fantasy suites. And Jack calls his fantasy suite with Rachel terrifying. He says he learned for the worst what could happen. Please, Zach, for the love of God, what happened with Rachel in your fantasy suites? It's going to be 10 years from now. Please, somebody tell us. Zach tells Jesse no sex in the fantasy suites, and then he goes, what brought you to that decision? And Zach says Sean told him. And of course, this whole hypothetical about what's going to go down, we're going to have so much content to talk about today after this recap regarding we've got people deleting other people's comments, a lot of haters out there, some shamings going on, so we're going to get into all that. So stick around, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and all that jazz. So Zach says sex could be, is it Sean or Zach? Zach says sex could muddy the situation. And it's like, well, it depends on how you do the sex. I mean, sometimes sex gets a little muddy. That's totally fine. Jesse goes, you are going to be tempted, and Zach calls it an animalistic desire. It's kind of weird hearing them talk like this, but hey, you know what I mean? That's what it is. It's the fantasy suites, baby. All rules are off at this point. To be honest, Zach is pretty respectful in how he says this is just his strategy, nothing against anyone else. He's very non-shamey in the way he describes it. He's like, look, nothing against the way anyone else has done it, but this is what I'm going to do. And of course, that's not exactly what happens. All right, Ariel gets date number 1. She says, being physical with someone is a big part of getting to know them. She starts off the date by wearing a puff sleeve white white dress. Very risque move in Thailand. Lots of variable factors at play. Like, what if you eat a salad with balsamic vinaigrette? How do you do that with a white dress? You know what I mean? You get that spinach and the balsamic just whips. You can't not get stains. Okay. Of course, Bachelor producers desecrate the Thai culture by showing them eating juicy insects. It's like, has anyone been to a night market in Thailand? Not to be all cultured, but like they've also got barbecue chicken. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, it looks like a Fear Factor set. Yeah, they've also got soup. You know what I mean? You can get soup. You don't have to get roasted crickets. But there they are. All right, and then let's see. Zach says she got a stare in her eyes. It's like, yeah, good luck, bro. She's in control. Ariel is the captain here. Zach says she's a great kisser. They have fire performers. Listen, Thailand might be the best country you should visit. I'm sorry. Thailand's beautiful. It's an amazing country. The dollar goes a long way. The people are very kind, and there's great culture. Why not go to Thailand? Romantic dinner. Ariel says Zach matches her energy. And it's like, it's the only way Zach matches Ariel's energy is if Ariel ate a Quaalude. You know what I mean? They match energies. What? Ariel reads the fantasy suite letter about foregoing their original rooms. Forego means go for it in the fantasy suite world. Zach tells Ariel that sex is off the table. It's like sex could be off the table, on the table, under the table. Sex is wherever you want it to be. It's muddy. It's not muddy. He says he feels a connection with her. No joke. And says he wants to save that intimacy for the final person. Ariel says she was disappointed, saying she wanted that physical connection. And as we saw on Instagram on the Bachelor page, Ariel actually gave it a downvote, the trailer for her fantasy suite. So I don't know if she feels stupid or what, but hopefully we'll get some more information from her as the day goes on, and sometimes we do. We have yet, usually when someone gets kicked off the show, or unceremoniously or graciously, towards, the next day we'll get some sort of Instagram statement or something like that. She says their physical chemistry will permeate in the fantasy suite. It's like, well, Zach said no permeating. That's his one rule, is like, we just can't permeate each other's souls. They get steamy in the tub. Next morning, we see Zach and Ariel canoodling, her bikini on the bathroom faucet, looking for subtle signs from the producers that they fornicated, right? That's all I'm doing, looking for sprinklers being turned on, subtlety, just things like that. They leave the shower running with a little drip. Zach says they didn't bang, so we got that answer. And then we go to Gabby. Gabby's ruminating, as you do. She feels nervous, waiting for her date, insecure, in doubt. Where's Gabby? There she is. Date arrives, and they meet on a beautiful beach. Zach takes Gabby and Krabi to a private island on a pirate ship. I wonder if Zach takes Gabby on a pirate boat. I wonder if that's a metaphor for what he thinks of her. Will he try to plunder her booty? You know, okay, we're trying, folks. Gabby gets emotional, tells herself to get a grip. Zach catches her crying on a bench by herself, and she feels like she was chosen second and is never good enough. She tells Zach about being cheated on and feeling second. And then they have and we talked about this on last night's live stream. It was a lot of opening up, which is good, but also can backfire depending on the emotional capabilities of the person you're talking to, right? Evening portion of the date, Gabby excited to tell Zach she's falling in love. She says in her last relationship, she knew she was being cheated on and chose to look the other way. Jesse offers the happy couple the fantasy suite. Zach tells Gabby about his no sex rule. He goes, I know this isn't conventional. It's like, yeah, Zach, but neither's dating 30 women in foreign countries. Gabby says, did I think I was going to get engaged to somebody that I hadn't had sex with? No. She says, I won't try to seduce you. They are boated to a private island villa, so there's no walk of shame out of this one. Yeah, you'd have to do a swim of, I don't know what rhymes with swim. You know what I mean? A stroke of luck, a backstroke of luck. The morning after convo doesn't lead anyone to believe boundaries were crossed. They seem well rested. So as I'm watching this and taking notes, I'm trying to think, who does Zach hook up with when he said he wasn't gonna? Zach takes the boat Uber away. I feel bad for the guy who's paddling the boat. They bring Zach home separately before Gabby, and she just has to wait there on the island. Like, are they gonna feed me a croissant? You know what I mean? She's just literally sitting in an island. You know, with like, maybe it's like a cock-infested waters, who knows? So yeah, he takes the boat away. Tip your boat driver. Zach says his night with Gabby was passionate and special. He says his whole perspective of how the week should go changed because something special happened in the fantasy suite. Well, how special was it? Let's ask Gabby. Was it really special or no? Zach meets with Jesse, spills the beans, says his take sex off the table changed with Gabby. He says, we didn't just take sex off the table. We took it into the living room. We took it into the bedroom. He tells Jesse in private and with the country that him and Gabby had sex together. That's right. Zach's like, just between you and I. And Jesse's like, just so you know, we're on air. And the producers are like, keep rolling. So, yeah, they had it. They did it, guys. They pumped their palmers. Which is fine, consensually, it's fine. But, of course, he set the parameter that he wouldn't do that. And things are now on the table that were previously thought to be off. Next day, Zach arrives to chat with Gabby. He sees Gabby on the way to his date with Katie. He tells Gabby that he had the best night with her. Gabby says she feels blindsided that Zach says he doesn't want to keep secrets. Gabby's like, what? My only thought was this. Gabby must have been like, look, let's do this thing. I don't want to get engaged to someone who I haven't hooked up with. Let's do this thing and we'll just keep it between us. That's my guess of what happened. And then, of course, Zach's guilty conscience is like, no, I need to tell everybody. And Gabby's like, are you kidding me? What are you doing? So that's not a good thing. She's blindsided. She feels her trust was broken. She says, I thought Fantasy Suite was about keeping secrets. Zach then tells Gabby he's falling in love with her. Wow. So, I mean, that's one way to do it. Katie's turn. Oh, boy. Let's ruin this beautiful date. Katie calls Zach trusting. Gabby would disagree. Yeah, Katie said, yeah, he's trusting with his word. Gabby's like, well, we'll see how this plays out. They go canoodling in a canoe. Rains, beautiful scenery. They tease the talk Zach wants to have. Zach says he set a parameter for no sex. Poor Ariel, by the way. Pray for Ariel. How many Bachelor alumni were like, man, I think Andrew Spencer was the one who commented. He was like, man, Zach's stronger than I was, basically saying Ariel. I mean, the irony is that Ariel not getting... let's see. No intimacy with Ariel means Ariel got shafted, but she didn't get shafted in a good way, metaphorically. Zach says he set parameter, got that. He tells Katie that a lot has changed. Zach says he had a rough time yesterday. Rough sex, maybe. This is a heavy convo for Katie to digest, but she's Canadian like Caitlin Bristow, so she may be more mature with her views on sex, is what I'm thinking. She says it sucks to think about. How do you think it's like, how do you think we feel, Katie? It sucks that you're thinking about it. We have to watch Zach, bathe every episode. He tells her he didn't want her to be guessing. She says she could have done without hearing that. And then Katie says, well, I'm crushed. Where's the Katie gif? There it is. Well, I'm crushed. Well, that didn't go well. I waxed. This was my big day. I put on my best bra. And this is what we have to deal with. At least that's how I go on my dates. I like to wax and put on my best bra. At least he's lucky to be dating a nurse now that their relationship is on life support. That's always good. Please, can we get some, some ventilators in here for Zach's relationship? Save it, Katie. Okay, it's dark now in the mangroves. They're going to get attacked by some creatures. Katie says she understands what Zach was trying to do, but she still feels bad. So it goes back and forth. I know what you're trying to do, but you're an idiot. And he's like, I know I'm an idiot. And I don't know if he really ever admits that he messed that up. Zach tells her he can see himself being with her at the end. Maybe that helps. Dinner time. Katie says she questioned if she would show up, but thinks they can work through this. So that's the effort. It's like, well, that's the problem with Zach, is he already worked through things with Gabby. And the producer's like, let it out, let it go. So they do the thing. She got a beautiful, pink mini dress, whatever they call those things. They always look like lingerie. I'm okay with it. No judgments here. Looks comfortable. She says she still feels like the luckiest girl in the world. And I'm thinking, can you imagine being so lucky that the guy you're falling in love with bangs somebody else in a tree fort? I mean, I don't know. Is that the luckiest girl in the world? Maybe not the luckiest. It's like, at least she didn't have to get, at least her fantasy suite wasn't in a mosquito-infested lake. They decided to do the fantasy suite, which they're already in. My guess is their original dinner plans got rained out. So there they are. Rose ceremony. Let's get into it, folks. And what's this color combo? They look like a pack of highlighters getting selected. He's like, I'll take the pink. Whatever. Pink. What's Katie's right there? Would you call that purple or royal blue? I don't know what that is. And then of course Gabby's in green. She can be green screened very easily if we wanted to, and we don't. All right, Gabby says her trust was broken, doesn't even know if she wants the rose. Meanwhile, Ariel has no clue. She was the only one to not get the Zach attack. At the time, I assumed Katie had hooked up with Zach, but not really sure what went down. So anyway, bold colors. Rose goes to Katie, then Gabby. Ariel wins award for the way she handled the rejection. So kind. She handled the rejection. Katie tells Gabby, you were the only one. Gabby says it feels like she has the scarlet A. And I'm left with a question on whether or not Katie also got to the finish line there. We don't really know what went down. But boy, is it fascinating. We're going to have a lot more content to get to today. So do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Also, I'll be live at around 10 a.m., sometime between the 10 and 10:30 a.m. hour. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind the scenes bonus content. I'm also going to be posting today my full set that I just did. Very Harry Potter heavy set. If you enjoy R-rated Harry Potter jokes, I'm going to have that for you with the Patreon only. And also this afternoon, like every afternoon, we've got the award-winning. Did it win any awards? I don't know. I'll give it this trophy that I got right here. It won a trophy. Award-winning Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast. I'll have an update because news goes fast in Bachelor Nation, and every afternoon I have more content and more info to share with you. So we'll have that on today's Bachelor Rush Hour. Link in the comment section below, and we'll be right back after this.